welcome to my nightmare. Alice Cooper and Only Women Bleed, a song written by Dick Wagner and Alice Cooper together. And Dick Wagner had written it originally with a band that he was in Michigan. Dick is in the studio with us. Mr. Wagner, thank you very much.
Hey, hi, Jim.
This guy, I'm telling you, you had, we were going to do this interview. You agreed to come in, which is like just an honor for me because I love the stuff, especially when we get to the Lou Reed rock and roll animal thing.
Thank you very much.
But I read the book. You have a new book out, and it's called Not Only Women Bleed, but your life. It's kind of, you just tell stories.
I tell stories. It's really kind of an autobiography. In fact, I just won an award. I came in second place out of 5,000 entries in the Independent Book Publishers Contest.
That is so cool. I mean, it's such an easy. It's an easy read, but it's a great read.
Well,
you're
thank you.
very descriptive.
Well, I decided to make it a conversational. You know,
it is. Yeah.
I wanted it to be as though you could sit down and be talking to me, and I'm telling you stories from my life. And so it came out in kind of a vignette style. So I call it Vignettes from the Heart of a Rock Musician.
But you presented me with a real problem. See, here's the problem. I do a lot of research for this stuff anyway, and I read the book. I do some research. We could do this for 4 hours.
Well, let's do it.
I know,
unbelievable. I'll sit here and talk to you for 4 hours. I'd love to.
Well, you were in Michigan, and I grew up in Michigan too.
Right.
We grew up on the opposite. You were on the east side in the Detroit area.
Right.
I was on the west side.
We were mortal enemies.
Oh, I know. There's Wayne County and there's the rest of Michigan. That's how it goes. And we were under the umbrella of Chicago too. I was telling Mark Mayfield earlier. I said I didn't even know Van Morrison did Gloria for years because it was the Shadows of Night.
Right.
Out of Chicago radio.
Right, you knew that.
Yeah. I mean,
absolutely.
Back when everything was regional.
And then we gave him Jimi Hendrix. Then it was
right.
You know, Gloria became Jimi Hendrix.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, but you had
enough about Gloria.
I know. I love your first band was the Invictas. I love the name, and then the Bossmen, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. But you're in a band called the Frost in Detroit.
Yeah, it was a huge band. I mean, we really had great success all over Michigan, really. You know, and down into Indiana and Ohio. It was a regional band, but it was really a hot band, and it could have, if we were on the right record label, it could have really been a worldwide thing. I really do believe that.
Well, I always thought of it as one of the big regional bands like Seeger, Nugent, the MC5, the Frost, and it was very regional in the Michiana area.
Right.
And just the difficulty was breaking out of that.
Yeah.
In those days.
You know, it still is for people, I think, but you know, Detroit. Definitely has this. Every decade, music comes out of that area that is important and prominent, and that's been going on since like the 1940s. You know, every decade, there's some new stars breaking out of Detroit and in Michigan. It seems to be some kind of something in the water, or maybe it's
or in the
maybe
air,
it's the smog. I don't know.
In the snow.
In the snow, and you know, it's all based on this. You know, it's an industrial area. It was anyway. I don't know. I think the car companies have come back, so it's still a motor city. But for something about being blue-collar kids that support this kind of music, and it really developed, you know, and then there was the Grandy Ballroom, and it was a very exciting time in Michigan.
Well, blue collar, I mean, I think Detroit rock has always been very street, very rough.
Yeah.
Very garagey kind of feel. You know?
And the audiences are like that, too. I mean, the kids are like really gung-ho. When they're into something, they're really into it. And so all these artists are breaking out. You know, you got Kid Rock and Eminem and all the more modern stuff. And then you had Seeger and Nugent and myself.
Yes.
And, you know, so it's just been like a hotbed for talent for many decades.
We're speaking with Dick Wagner, who's had 50 years in the business and has worked with everybody. I mean, the list of people you worked with goes on and on, not only Alice and Kiss and Aerosmith and Lou Reed and Peter Gabriel and Meatloaf and Guns N' Roses and Ringo Starr, even down to Etta James.
Yeah. She did Only Women Bleed. She did a fantastic version of Only Women Bleed. I think it's one of the historic recordings of it. I mean, it's been recorded by at least 30 different artists already. So it's a modern day classic.
Etta had such a great voice.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
Fantastic. Yeah.
But you know, and you're the invisible. Somebody called you the invisible virtuoso, and you're one of those guys. Now I don't, you know, this comes off as a little weird in a way, but I think it was even Bob Ezrin who said that you're like one of those guys who's at the top of the business, but not at the top of the food chain. So your name doesn't become, I mean, you're just an incredible musician who's on everything, and people have heard you for 50 years.
Right. They've been hearing me and not knowing necessarily who it was.
Right, and you contributed so many things, you know, to rock and roll.
Well, thank you. I've actually added a little bit of texture in there.
I think you have. Yes, a little texture. That's a good way to put it. Like a session guy. Well, you know, Jimmy Page, when he was doing all his session work, there's arguments about which songs he was on, like Donovan or whatever, and he said the same thing you said a minute ago, which is, I don't know, I don't remember.
Yeah, it's hard to remember. It really is. I played so many sessions.
Yeah. Well, and you're on the Aerosmith album, Get Your Wings.
Right.
And especially this song, Train Kept A-Rollin'.
Right.
Which they used to do live all the time, and then decided to record it. And your partner was Steve Hunter for a long time with Alice and that kind of. He's an amazing guitarist too.
He is. He's living in Phoenix now too. So.
Oh, he was. You guys were so good together.
He has a new album that just came out too. It's really beautiful. It's very bluesy, very nice. But I would hope that Steve and I would someday do something together again. You know, we've talked about it, but you know, I was ill for quite a few years, and he came off the road with Alice this last time, and he was not well either. He's been having heart problems, and so you know, the physicality of life has interfered.
I hear you, man. I know it happens, you know, but I mean, you're back and standing up. We'll talk about the physical stuff because that's fascinating to me too, having had an operation myself.
I'm 70
recently.
years old now, so you know, I never thought I'd be anywhere near this age.
Yeah, you and a lot of other rockers.
Yeah.
But on Train Kept A-Rollin', you know, they put it in there, and actually Jack Douglas decided to make it sound live. I don't think the band was thrilled with that. But Steve plays the first half, right?
Right.
And then you're on the second half of this song,
Right.
which is kind of the live half.
I sound like I'm on stage wailing in front of 30,000 kids, you know.
Yeah. Was it fun?
It was fantastic.
Working with Aerosmith?
What's great is, you know, you get a call. I was living at the Plaza Hotel in New York at that time and spending all my money blowing it because the Plaza was a very expensive hotel, but I felt like I deserved it. And I probably didn't, but I was there. I get a call from Jack Douglas, and he said, are you available to play a session tonight? And I said, sure. So I went down to the record plant, took my guitar. We walked in. I had no idea who it was. Matter of fact, Aerosmith had just started to break, and this is going to be their second album.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had no idea, really. And Stephen and Joe Perry, they weren't even there. I went in. They'd already recorded these basic tracks, and I just plug in, and, you know, they say, play here, play there, and then you just do what you do. And hopefully you get inside the song enough so you understand what it's about.
You were inside the song.
Definitely inside the song.
Oh, it fits, yeah.
And I knew that this live section just had to be, you know, spectacular and wild, and so that's the way I played it.
Listen for it. From Get Your Wings, this is Aerosmith with Dick Wagner playing some great guitar in this on the Lunchtime Theme Park.